Mysteries and shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall. Mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines. Aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night. Ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal for a long we bring it to you. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue you.
Hey.
All right.
Woo.
Wow, am I loud?
Yeah, you're really loud tonight.
Dang. Let me turn myself down just a little bit. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, is that good?
That's good.
We got a great show tonight. Don't know how long it'll be. I mean, it's a pretty good show.
It may be longer than we know.
We got Stephen Watson from Arcane Discoveries. He's going to be with us here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some Bigfoot and portals. Yeah.
We ain't just talking about walking into the woods either.
No, we're not.
We're going to step into a mystery that is older than modern America.
Yeah.
I mean, the term cryptid, older than the term cryptid. Older than the famous Patterson-Gimlin film. So tonight's show is Bigfoot and the theory that it may not just be a undiscovered primate, but something that moves between dimensions, something that uses portals. If I'm not looking in the camera, it's my camera. I got a new camera and it's way up. It's up there. I'm down here. So what do you think, David?
Well, I think most people who watch us a lot know how we feel about the portals and Bigfoot. I think that just like I know you do, they're synonymous. They're one and the same. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
There's way too many things that happen, anecdotal evidence of people's testimonies about watching them go behind a tree, peek out, and then disappear.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that.
You're not supposed to be able to.
You got to go somewhere. You know what I mean? They're not going up the tree because they're so big they'd see something going up in the tree. They just disappear.
Just disappear.
So I just think that it's, that is something. I think this is something that kind of blurs the line between folklore and physics.
Yeah. I do. Hey, I got an echo.
Hello?
Hello?
I don't hear it. Do you hear it?
Sound like I got an echo.
Man. Jason? I've got my echo cancellation on. Do you have yours?
Let me try.
Patty was definitely famous overtly. Especially still to this day, because 50% of the people believe it's a man in a costume and 50% don't. Still highly debated, isn't it, Jason?
Yep. All right. Let's see. I don't hear it now, so we're good.
Well, that background noise that I was hearing is gone too. So
good. So let's go ahead and bring Steven on.
Yes. What's up, Steve?
What's up?
What up?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are y'all?
Doing good. Doing good. How you been doing here lately? I mean, you've been, getting famous on us and everything, and
I know, right?
taking the big time, and I mean,
I don't know about all that. I'm just a simple old boy still here.
you went on a big old podcast, and
Yeah,
put the name out.
It's been out there, and people's been blowing me up ever since. But
I bet.
I'm appreciative of it and everything else. But I got stayed true to my roots, and you guys were the ones I cut my teeth on. So I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, we're glad that you came on and have told us all the stories that you've told us and everything. Because hey, we've had a lot of fun. So
Oh yeah,
Hopefully, we get out and go somewhere together.
yeah, me too, me too.
I'm about ready to go hiking. I've been
Hey,
walking about 5 miles a day.
well, good. I've got us some good trails to hike this spring. If y'all up for it.
hey, we got some new cameras. I'm gonna show you this. Because mine's not plugged in like Jason's is. So we've got two of these. This thing right here,
Mm-hmm.
it's got two XLR mic inputs.
Oh wow.
It's 4K camera, and these things, they've got mics to where you could actually even put boom mics and everything on these things.
Oh wow.
These are some really nice cameras, and so we're ready to be able to take them out and see
So
what they do.
already golfing Jeffrey's hell.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got that, and then we've got three GoPros too. So
Oh wow. Yeah.
actually, we have four, don't we, Jason? No, we got three.
No, just 3.
Yeah.
What's up, Jason Finch? How you doing? Thank you for joining in.
It was a beautiful day outside. How you doing, Jason? Overtly ask a good question. What do you think about that? What in another dimension warp or change our structure or our physical structure?
Oh yes, definitely.
I think it would to humans.
Hmm.
And
Well, you got to think about the fighter jet effect. Normal human beings getting there and they expect so many G's. But if you was to put them over so many G's, like in the supposed, you know, UFO trials or whatever you want to call it, you put a human being in so many G's, they'll melt.
Yep. That'll
But
kill you.
oh yeah, but we're able to vibrate so fast and so much. There ain't no telling what we can do if we really harness it.
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that, Bigfoot, if they do have this ability, which I do believe that they do, because, Native American folklore, I mean, and it doesn't matter what tribe,
Mm-hmm.
all Native American folklore says the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that there are beings that walk in two worlds,
Mm-hmm.
not just this one. They're not just a physical being. You could say they're a spiritual being because that's how they say that they are. I think that, if you don't understand anything past, common knowledge or something of the time, that's what it would seem like. But I mean, we're a little bit more advanced today. And I think that saying that they're able to travel between our world and their world, whatever that is, right? Interdimensionally, however you want to say it. I think that'd be not out of the realm of reality either.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we could really sit and understand the energy each of us are giving off, the vibration and everything, if we could really truly understand that, we could harness enough of that energy and that power to pass through so many doorways. Just as it's believed that Bigfoot can. Bigfoot is such a big creature or animal, whatever you want to call it. They're giving off so much energy, so much levels of vibration, everything. What's to say they can't, get to these high frequencies and pass through these portals, dimensions, and other such realms to get between their actual world and ours.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, that could lead into so many other cryptids that we see on this earth.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I
like, Dogman, even to that, aliens or the not Francisco, the San Francisco. I can't even say it.
San Francisco.
Their ghost or anything else. I mean,
Yeah.
they're pulling some type of energy and some type of vibration or whatever to be able to pass through these portals and do whatever they well please.
Right.
And our minds are so domesticated, we cannot comprehend that.
Right. And I think overtly overstoked Oscar said it right. That would imply a higher being to us. And that's exactly what I believe. I believe that even when it goes into the spirit realm, to not necessarily every ghost that we see or hear or whatever, but the ones that seem to attack, or the ones that seem to want to feed off of us in whatever way it is that they feed off of us. A lot of people call them demons or just whatever. I think that all of these are higher realm beings. They're all in another dimension, of higher dimension than ours. And we know for a fact that anything that's in a higher dimension can come into a lower dimension.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And we can see it, right? We can see two-dimensional things, one-dimensional things, but we can't. We have a hard time understanding fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of people like to, it's easy. I guess you could put it in a way of a fish in a fish tank. They're aware of their surroundings and everything, not really anything outside of that. But then all of a sudden a net comes in one day and starts catching them so they can get their water clean, but they don't understand, right? They've just been abducted.
Exactly. It's like a lot of people have been talking about here lately about the whole MK stuff and the other Epstein stuff coming out, really dig into a lot of those things. Those people are being abducted or whatever. They're passing through all these different portals and subjects about lots of other things. I mean, portals means so many things, except for it's just a hole in gravity. It can be so many other different things, like I keep talking about the vibration and everything else. It passes you through, and you're able to go to different dimensions, different places in the world, and those such things like that.
Well, in physics, there's a thing called string theory. String theory says that everything is vibrating. Which we do know is real, but it's vibrating in a way that we think that this is a solid object, but it's not.
Exactly.
And we know that if we can match the resonance frequency of this object, then we would be able to pass through it. Like it wasn't even there. So, the same thing can happen, like you was just talking about. If you knew the proper resonance frequencies and you could match those frequencies, you can go into these different realms, or stargates, like overtly says, and wormholes or things like that.
I was about to say,
conduit of that.
Did somebody say Stargate?
Yes. Hey, they're about to come out with a new season.
Yeah,
new episodes.
You talking about the string theory? The string theory proposes that there are extra dimensions beyond the three dimensions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
even
if you think about a nearby place, I'll leave it at that so we don't all get in trouble here. If you think about a nearby place to all of us, they're practicing that. That's something that they have been trying to do. And if we remember back in, like 2012 and over the years, there's been so many weird storm systems and everything going on. It's all could be linked, but they're doing something and pushing something that another company did at the same time, if you catch my drift. I hope everybody's catching the drift, but it's just weird that all these particles, let's put it that way, particles were mixing at the same time. And like you was talking about with how maybe Bigfoot's able to hide behind a tree and stuff like that. Well, if you think about what plant life is, even with trees, they're a living organism.
Mm-hmm.
They live, they breathe, they eat.
Mm-hmm.
So what's to say they're not giving us so much vibration, so much energy that these Bigfoot or whatever other cryptid is able to walk up to it, touch it, and harness the energy and pass through it.
Mm-hmm.
That gives the whole peeker, effect where they're peeking around trees. Maybe they're at the hole of the portal. They're peeking if it's safe to come out. I mean,
Yep.
sky's the limit with the trees.
Yep.
I've always been taught, listen to your trees,
Mm-hmm.
see which way they're whispering, see which way they're leaning.
Yep.
And I say that because, in my background for hunting whitetail deer and stuff like that, you keep up with the wind, you're able to harvest what you're after.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, I think that on that, we already know that when it comes to plant life and things like that, it's very complex, a lot more complex than what a lot of people understand, because the relationship between plants and other plants, plants and microbial life, and all of that. For instance, I don't know how many people know this or not, but maybe this is a lesson. A tree, especially an old growth tree, an older tree in the area, it can help other trees that are dying, or it can help kill them off so then some of its babies can live.
oh yeah,
And it can help maintain its babies and kill them off so then as to not as much food be eaten off the forest floor.
oh yeah.
So
See that?
trees can actually help each other.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can see that clear as day if you take a trail, on your normal hiking trail. If you pay attention enough, you can notice every bit of that you're talking about. Every bit of it.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just like human beings. We it's a succubus life. In other
Mhm.
words,
Yep.
we pull and suck everything off of other organisms to make ourselves better.
Yep.
So why does not why wouldn't Mother Nature do the same thing?
Right. And something that we've learned, the wife and I, since we started, since we moved into this place and started doing gardens and things like that, over our time of learning how to properly garden, you learn that all of that is built on microbial life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have the microbes in the ground, your plants aren't going to live, because the microbes are what goes deep and brings the nutrients up to feed the plants. Because what the plants do in order for the microbes is that all this stuff that they're making throughout the day, they feed them the sugars that they need.
Exactly.
So they've got a symbiotic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You kill off all the microbes, you kill off the plant life.
Right.
So all this crap that we spray on the ground and all that stuff to do all that, you're killing the microbes, you're killing the plant life.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you take all that and consider, and you're doing it in a small scale or operation at home, just think about what Mother's Nature doing out in the wild, where there's a huge scale of all that happening at once. Every day at this moment, we're all sitting here.
Yep.
That is what is happening in Mother Nature.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so,
I'll touch on this. They talk about a bunch of being old boys from the South and stuff like that, but you get in the woods enough, you'll learn a thing or two.
Yeehaw.
yeehaw. I'll tell you, as much as I used to be in the woods, I'm not in them as much as I used to be, but back when I was a little bit younger and I was ginsenging, you don't find it by the road.
Oh no.
You have to hike. Sometimes 10, 12, 13 miles back in the woods, and so if you can't find your way in, you can't find your way out. You're not going to be doing it long.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was just going to say, when you're in nature like that, and this is, I think, where hunters come in with a lot of this stuff too, right? When you're in nature a lot, you tend to start picking up on different things and what people that aren't in nature do not get to pick up on. And that's, just weird sounds, weird smells. Wow, it's crazy because I've been out in this area for years, but never heard it as quiet as it is right now.
Did you say
What's causing this?
Did you say weird sounds?
Sounds. Yes. Yes. That kind.
I mean, I can contest to that a whole lot. Over the last 4 years now, with my kids being, as you would call, greenhorns, being introduced into the woods and stuff like that, learn the ways that I've learned, try to hunt and everything else. I can tell you all now that in my younger days, when I was hunting with my grandfather and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff and noises and stuff we just brushed off. But ever since getting this subject, there's a lot more stuff that stick out to me. And I realized by connecting myself to the earth, we're able to understand and hunt our game better than we ever have. It's like my kids, any typical teenager nowadays, they want to do it as easy as lazy as they can. Love my kids to death, but I'm the type of guy, I'm a ground hunter. If I can sit against a tree on the ground, that connects me to Mother Nature. That's how I've able to harvest more deer than anybody else in a tree or whatever.
Did you say a ground hunter?
Yeah, ground hunter.
Or a tree hugger? I'm just joking.
Hey. Let me tell you, trees will tell you a lot if you
They will.
Like we was talking
Yep.
about. But
I got a question, or I got something to say here. Do you think these locations, like remote locations, forest and mountain ranges and stuff, that there could be some kind of a weak spot between the dimensions?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if you look at what a lot of things are predicated on, Halloween, right? Veil is thin. You have summer and winter solstices. Veil is thin. So if you have veil is thin during these certain times that our ancestors for thousands of years have talked about, why wouldn't that also happen at other times and in other places?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that along with the natives, when they were out there in the woods, but they didn't have the things we have today. There wouldn't have been a lot of electromagnetic noise that we have today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a lot of the public land that I hunt. A lot of people won't get off really far off the trail and hunt. But with me, knowing my background and where my ancestors used to hunt, we get from the main roadbed or the main trail, we get 3 miles to 4 miles off the beaten path to get back there and connect with Mother Nature. That's my biggest thing. That's one thing I've been teaching, like y'all were touching on. Mother Nature will tell all. I mean,
that's fact.
Yeah,
that had to be fantastic.
Yeah, it did.
Well, and that's something though that most ancient cultures also kept up with is the night sky. I mean, besides the solstices and all those things, the night sky. And I think a lot of it had to do with that nighttime. Guess what? You had nothing else to do but sleep or look up at the sky because there was not a lot of light. So, and you didn't have the light pollution we have today.
I know you guys have probably done it too, just out in the field. I mean, it has to be good and dark, no light, no nothing, and just look up. It's magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Out here, I can do that. When the street light goes out and it's dark, it's completely pitch black up here, and you can see everything.
Oh yeah. You get far enough and deep enough, you won't have none of that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
We was talking about Bigfoot and stuff, and probably one of the most famous pieces of evidence is the Patterson Gimlin films, which was shot in Bluff Creek in California. For me, that has so many people that are still against it. Right there, this ain't real. It's a guy in him. But I think that they've shown that it isn't. Those people that's gone in and shown, look, this calf muscle's flexing and all of this stuff, and what they thought was a zipper or whatever it was actually just when she moved her arm back, she just kind of pressed her hair backwards, which gave it that look. And what do you think about that?
Well, no, it's awful funny we talk about the Patty Gimlin film, because I got to reading the article this morning at work and my little break time I get. But you know what Jeff Meldrum, God rest his soul, what he was looking into before he passed away?
Mm-mm.
He was taking the Patty Gimlin film, was running it through AI. I don't know how everybody else feels about AI, but he was running it through a strictly, like, when I say strict, like, I guess it was under his own terms.
Mm-hmm.
But he was running the Patty Gimlin film underneath an AI form. And, he was running it through and he was analyzing everything to a tiny detail, to the muscle movement, like you was talking about, even in that film, the breast, how it was moving, the muscles in the calf, everything this AI was pointing out. I mean, Patty Gimlin film is like the most second filmed, analyzed to date, besides the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
The Patty Gimlin film is like the second. And everybody has tried doing everything they can to do about that film to prove it wrong or prove it right. And Dr. Jeff Meldrum was talking about how, before he passed away, that he was taking AI and was studying it even further, making it even more still to what we can see today, and was analyzing it and, going forward with it.
Yeah.
So it's a weird coincidence y'all bring that up.
Overtly says that he said to watch it in reverse. You could see things forward. Doesn't show.
He's right.
Yeah.
If you watch the more modern today times of the Patty Gimlin film and watch in reverse, 2 or 3 times backwards and forwards, you can see, I guess, depending on what type of device you're watching it on, you can see everything that I mentioned before: muscle movement, just the way it moves and everything.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, Dr. Jeff Meldrum was on the break of where he was saying even the PG film was real. It was authentic and it was real. There's no way you could fake it. Even the director of the Planet of the Apes back in those could not fathom or could not confirm they had anything like that back in those days.
Yeah. Yeah. They said that they wish that they had costumes that were that good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Patterson Gimlin film is authentic as it comes to Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like we was talking about earlier, a lot of North American natives have also, described them as wild men who could just vanish, who move silently. They said that they appeared and disappeared with intention.
Well, it's just like the Cherokee legend, where we're from, the Kasu. I'm wrong. That I'm gonna butcher it, but One-Eyed John. There's many stories with the Cherokee, how it was such a guardian of the forest and everything else. I mean, they come and go as they please.
They had to ask Sukalu for permission to hunt.
Exactly.
No. And he'd get mad if they hunted without his permission.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's when the settlers came in. They called him Judicula. and that's where you get that Judah rock there
Yep.
in North Carolina.
Yep.
Bigfoot's always on the totem poles.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah. Well, he was a pretty sacred being. You know, some natives actually said that they were another tribe.
Yep.
Just another tribe.
Yeah, they didn't describe them as animals.
Oh
No.
no, they were a living, tall, sort of human being that were there to protect and help the forest. And the legends I've been taught growing up and stuff, they were there to help, you know, be the law of the forest at the times. They were there to make sure the natives or whoever was there to make sure the law of the land was being kept.
Hmm.
So that's the legend of that story.
That's interesting. Where'd David go?
I don't know.
He must have had to go pee pee.
I'm about right there with him.
So what do you what flesh and blood? I think what if
Well,
the problem with the flesh and blood theory.
I
It,
you
go
know
ahead.
I've been asked that quite a few times, and my answer every time is I believe, and this is my personal opinion, I believe Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call him, he is a supernatural being. And you can break that down a lot, but the way I break it down is the creature has its supernatural tendencies, which it's able to pass through portals. It's able to be elusive. It's able to be transparent. It's able to be a ghost. It's able to do so many supernatural things. But at the same time that people are encountering this thing and running into it, they're running into a physical being. So this physical being, when it's on this earth, it's an actual living, breathing, breeding creature.
Yeah, I believe that's absolutely true.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like my personal opinion. What a Bigfoot or Sasquatch is.
Yeah, I think if when they cross that dimensional plane, I believe they become physical.
Mm-hmm. You
And
know, it's like if you want to, you know, Janice Carter. If anybody knows who she is and what she is, you know, she says she's have conversations with them like, "Where are you from?" And she always said, "We come from the star people." And when she would ask that and be like, "Well, what do you mean?" She would always say, "We were danced into creation by the creator." Creator, sorry. So I mean,
Right.
if you want to look to a Christian, aspect, that would be God. And then if you look to a native side, that's just the Almighty Creator that made all of everything of Earth.
Right.
right.
So either way, this creature, just like the rest of us humans, as I've been taught growing up, that we come from the earth, we come from the mud and everything. So there's no telling what these creatures actually are unless we get to talk to one.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, right? That
That
When
only certain people seem to be able to get that interaction.
mhm.
yeah, I think when you're higher up in a dimension like the fourth or fifth, wherever they're from,
Mhm.
they would they're they would know how to come through and be living in this dimension because we can't go up, but they can come down.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like fish in a fish tank or whatever analogy you want to give, they can also look down or they could see us at all times if they wanted to see how we're living. So then when they come here, they know what to do to avoid or to do whatever it is that they need to do.
Right. And that's where I give them the natural being because they're able to do all these things.
Yeah. Especially when there's no bones, there's no bodies,
I'll be right.
there's okay. There's nothing. I mean, here's where it gets interesting, right, David?
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses report strange phenomena alongside these Bigfoot or dogman sightings, any cryptid sighting. So you have that sudden silence in the forest. Your electrical systems malfunction.
Yep.
You feel like you're being watched.
And how many people, talk about that before they have a sighting or during a sighting or after a sighting? It's like, I had this feeling before this all started happening that I was being watched,
Right.
Then
you get the orbs.
Let's talk about some orbs.
I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I mean, when you talk about orbs, the natives have talked about them for generations, for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And not as in, hey, we see these lights in there and then we see these Bigfoot. No, they were the same. The lights were linked with the Bigfoot.
Well, that just ties to how Bigfoot's able to vibrate or use their energy to not be as such a physical being, but able to hide underneath like an orb and everything else like that.
Right. Greg Ogle, what was that? Not the last movie that we just went to watch, The Vanished, but the one before that we watched.
Return to the LBL.
Or is that his new one that's about to come out?
Well, it was the LBL one. I'm pretty sure.
It was one of his LBL movies. Anyway, you start seeing these orbs, and I mean they're pretty. Some of them are blue and green, and they'll get bright and dim and 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 move around and everything. And then they started seeing Bigfoot. And in one occasion, they were focusing on this. I mean, it was a beautiful big blue orb that kept getting really bright, then kind of going dim, then getting really bright in the tree line. And then when they went back and started looking through the footage, there was a Bigfoot crawling towards them on the ground. So it was like this thing was keeping their attention here so he could get closer to see what the heck was going on.
The master of the
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
amazing.
If you was able to live in the woods for thousands of years, you'd figure out all the tricks and trades to be avoided.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. That's why I firmly believe that trail cameras get bypassed because they can see the ultraviolet. They could see that ultraviolet light that those things put out.
I think they can read coming off of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they started making a passive camera, didn't they? That's not on until it doesn't do any ultraviolet or anything else.
Yeah.
But then when it's triggered, then it just, and then it's like it's dead until the second it's triggered.
Mm-hmm.
I think those things are expensive.
Trail cameras out, and I think I've talked to you all about. I don't think I've ever talked about it publicly, but there has been an area. Actually, the area that I had mine encountered, I've talked on your shows and a couple other shows, that we had went back this past deer season, started hunting, and I shared you all the photos from some weird things we caught there, and there was a couple weird. I've got my trail camera set to video, so there was a couple weird. I think I may have sent y'all a couple weird videos that were captured, but there was nothing there. And that just goes into what you're saying, David. Maybe they're able to come in, sense it, and then be out. Because I've got my camera set on like ultra sensitive, very sensitive, like little triggers. Like I've got so many freaking videos of leaves, it's unreal. But it's just that thing.
Have you ever, and I've never asked anybody this question before, but have you ever got one of it snapped a photo, but then you got like a weird light off on one side or another, or above it or below it or something?
God, son, I get that. It was when you asked me that. Yes, I have.
So my question for that is because we've been talking about the orbs and we've been talking about all this stuff. What if what we were just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
what if these things they come through, they sense it, or just as it goes to snap a picture, they go, "Oh yeah," and turn into an orb and they're gone.
Well, I'll do you one better. When that's happening, what if what we're seeing on these trail cameras seem like a quick eye shine off a deer, and that's not what it is? You get that quick shine of what we call an eye shine, and
Mm-hmm.
it is. I've got a couple of videos I can send you all right now of that. And you tell me that gives me cold chill, son. My skin's about to crawl.
You know, that could explain how they can come through the portal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Their
think they come in an
energy,
energy form.
yeah, their energy when
Mhm.
they're in a higher dimension, and then they can come through the portal as energy and then
Oh yeah,
manifest as flesh and blood.
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And
These
that goes
higher.
back again. That goes back to what we was just talking about. How the Native Americans talk about them.
Mhm.
They're of two realms. They're of two worlds. They're
Mhm.
and that
Oh,
would mean the spiritual as they would look at it, and the physical.
exactly.
Yep.
These creatures are far beyond what we can fathom. If we was able to keep the mindset and the thinking and the powers, as I say, of
Mhm.
what our early ancestors was,
Yep.
then we could understand it. But in our modern days, we're not able to fathom and understand what they are actually doing.
We've and it's kind of a sad thing, uh, but we've lost the ability to be one with nature.
Mm-hmm.
We've completely separated ourselves from nature.
We,
We no longer live in nature. We don't commune with nature. We have separated ourselves with nature from nature, and it's easy to just say that, but take just a few minutes, take your shoes off.
Mm-hmm.
It's called grounding, and it's better done outside than it is inside.
Yep.
But walk through the grass,
It's
just
like
clear your
my
mind.
Yep. My kids have made fun of me a few times when we walk through the woods, go set up cameras or whatever, kind of, get ready for deer season. Sometimes I'll get out there and I'll take my shoes off, my boots off, and everything.
Yeah.
Like this past season, I took them off just before we crossed this log, and I took them off and I went to go step across. And I told my son, I said, "Son, something don't feel right." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Something doesn't feel right." And I kid you not, as soon as I stepped across that log, there was a 6-foot copperhead laying by my left foot.
Mm-hmm.
hmm,
It,
Yep.
it You're exactly right, Dave. I mean, you connect with nature, you'll know nature. Not well,
Yes.
if you're out there long enough, I'll put it that way.
Right.
I think me and David are kind of psychic connected because every time I think about something, he says it. It wasn't the exact same thing, but I
Right.
feel like that back in the day, in ancient times,
Mhm.
I think we knew a lot more than we do now. We've
Mhm.
lost it all.
Yep.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that at one point in time, all of our souls have crossed one point in time. We've all been there before. If my papa was here, son, he'd slap me with the Bible. But I think at one point in time, our souls have crossed somewhere. We've all
Yep.
crossed. We've been across each other's path.
Yep.
And we're going down the road now where if we listen long enough and we connect long enough, we'll understand
Yes.
what we're crossing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think if we were back in the day, I mean, like right now, if we knew what we knew back in the day, we would understand a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
We would, and I think it's because the further you remove yourself from it, the further you are from the understanding it. Also,
Mm-hmm.
you can't understand something that
What's
you're
it's
not
like?
part of.
It's like I'm trying to teach my kids. Nowadays, it's all about the signs. It's all about how you do this, how you do that. Because I grew up with the signs. A lot of people don't know about the signs, and it's all about how you look into that stuff and how you take it and put in everyday life. Like Papa always told me that we used to have a bunch of hogs we raised, and he said, "Son, we don't cut them until it's the coldest day of the month," and that usually meant after the first of the year. Because if you cut them hogs before that coldest day in January, you'd have a mess on your hands and you'd have a bunch of lost hogs. and stuff like. I mean, it's stuff like that with even your garden. You know, the garden with the signs even lead back to the old native days. I mean, there's so much with nature and the signs that I talk about, and I try to teach my kids, to keep up with and pass it down. Because, after that whole conversation we had at work, I think I mentioned to you all, but how the old times is fading away. But if we can
Yes,
connect to these old times and these old fashioned Appalachian ways, native ways, we
absolutely.
continue to teach that and progress it and move on. Because I think those days are much better than it is nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's Oscar's talking about? Folding clothes?
Do you feel like folding socks when you take them off?
I do
in
not
the woods?
fold socks. They go in a basket, and I have to dig through the basket.
That's it.
I've always liked to. Um,
Hell, we don't even fold clothes around here. I just go dig for the baskets or dig on the couch because the whole. If you can see our living room couch, we've been having to sit in a den because the living room couch is full of clothes to be folded. Nobody likes to fold clothes here.
I've always been taught man can live off of 2 pair of pants, 2 pair of underwear, and 2 pair of socks, and 2 pair of shirts. He'd be just all right.
I do. I wear black shirts every day.
You know,
my wife, she keeps mine washed and
You're right. We
folded
know
and
she
hung up.
packs
And
your lunch, cooks your breakfast, and just the good old stuff. She's a
well,
good woman.
I live close enough. I come home to work from work at
I'm not
lunch.
saying my wife ain't a good woman, but I mean, she's not like she's
y'all
not.
know men
I gotta quit talking.
Saturday
You
morning.
don't kick your butt.
I know I gotta quit talking. I love her to death. Saturday we'll be together 13 years.
Yeah, Saturday will be their anniversary.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's like these past couple months ago. We celebrate my grandparents on my dad's side. They've been together 62 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I asked my papa. I've always asked him. I said, "What's the secret to keeping something that long?" He says, "Well, learning what their ticks are and knowing what you can do in within limits and the good Lord's faith." That's what he's
Well,
always.
my wife will tell you, you find a woman that has the crazy you can stand, and then that's the one you stick with.
That's it.
All women are crazy.
That's it.
So,
I have
you
to
just
say
find
this
your
is
level of
my
crazy and
longest
then
marriage
go with
ever.
it.
My longest marriage.
Yeah, mine too.
And I've had a few.
Me too. uh,
Fellas.
That's my Bigfoot thing. Well, you can't. There's a portal in there. Look at it.
Oh,
look
look,
at that. You got a portal.
you're vibrating hard enough there, Jason.
That's it.
Paul had a portal last night or night before last.
Wow, overtly 38 years.
Oh wow,
That's a heck of a long time.
it's a long time.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Wow. Talking about wormholes and stuff like that, a lot of people say that it's a shortcut that's through space time and that it's been predicted mathematically. So, Einstein himself has said that it was possible. They said that it is theoretical and no natural wormholes have been observed, but math says that they are possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Math says that. And they say that if mathematically it's possible, then they can happen on their own. They don't need people to make them happen. Right.
Right.
And so if the conditions are right, then they can appear.
Well, if you leave and you look at a certain ranch, there's things happening out there that, it's a show. I'll say that it is a show. But if you to kind of think about the mathematics behind it, like you was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
that's behind it, it's very possible. Well, it's just like the Meadow project that Tony had brought up. In that last episode I did him, I kind of talked with him behind camera about it because I thought I figured it out. I thought I figured out where it's at. I was wrong, according to him. But
We got to talk with the man over the Meadow Project,
Trey Hudson. Yeah.
Ray Hudson. Yeah.
Well, and, that's the things he was talking about. When Tony was talking about with him. There's nothing really special about this place because if you think about it and you take the aspects of it and the other ranch, there's places like this all across Appalachia, all across the United States.
Yes.
You got to go out and you got to find it.
Well, and you got to think, I mean, look at the Brown Mountain Lights and all the other things that we have here in this area. We've got tons of this folklore. And if you listen to Trey Hudson, when we talked to him at the Vanished premiere that we was at, when you talked to him, he said that it was the paranormal side of it that got them to go there to investigate. It was there was a paranormal aspect of people saying that you could drive down this one area and wasn't it things would touch your car or something like that, Jason? And ghosts or something. And that's what they were there studying was the paranormal side. And then all of a sudden they started having UFO things happen and Bigfoot things happen and all these other things happen. And they're like, wow, okay, we're going to just sit up here and investigate.
And if that's the details to go and find a place, then I know a half a dozen places like that. I mean, all full Appalachia. Like you talking about lives and times and everything else, it's like I always talk about Star Mountain, if anybody's familiar with it. It was named after a guy that, was friends with a Cherokee, but his son was also the same guy that was able to be there and help remove the Cherokee, his own kind. And it's places like that, like Tellico Village, stuff like that, that these places where these native people have been for thousands of years. And you take all this stuff into specs like you was talking about and everything, just look what could happen there. I don't like being on Star Mountain. Every time I've been on Star Mountain, something bad happened. And, there's a long story with me and my papa what happened on that mountain, but I won't get into that. But
go to Star Mountain. when you get the indigenous people and get into their old villages and where they lived and stuff, there's going to be some kind of energy there because they did rituals. They did a lot of rituals. Everything was about the creator and the spirit
realm. And speaking to the spirit realm, speaking to dead loved ones, speaking to ancestors, and all that was just prevalent in their culture, and also praying for great yields next year, and doing all these things. And so you're right, Jason. I think that would cause those to be some
I think the energy they left there would cause would keep it manifesting something.
Well, I mean, if you open a portal, it's going to stay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you think about the local big, I would say Cherokee neighborhood to, all three of us here where we all live, you've got the fort, that was a place that the Cherokee tried to take over from, French from the French and everything, or the British. I'm sorry if I don't quite up on my history, but they are taking it back their land. And they got it back.
They did.
Look what happened. Look what happened. White man came in. Now, I know I say white man, I'm a white guy, but good grief.
It was Tanasi is the one that got covered up with water. And Shodo is still the great house, where they did their things. It still stands close to Tanasi, but so TVA removed 91 bodies, Indian bodies,
and I'm sure there's a lot more still underneath that water lake.
And they put them over there at Sequoia. The birthplace and that big mound.
That big mound that they put with the things.
Somebody's got to be upset about that.
Oh Lord, that's like I was talking about Star Mountain when I've always been taught and been told, I don't think it's an official story, but when the whole removal of the natives of Star Mountain was removed, the chief at the time, I can't, it's been told to me, but I can't think of the name. But the chief at the time laid a curse upon that land. I mean, good grief.
Dragon Canoe. It wasn't Dragon Canoe, was it?
That was in Chattanooga,
Chattanooga. Yeah.
down in that area, right? Is that where Star Mountain is?
No, Star Mountain's like from mid Monroe County all the way down to Polk County.
Okay.
That's the Star Mountain that I know.
Okay.
But I've learned over the years, with Star Mountain, me and my grandfather, we've encountered some just bad people there. TWRA, they burnt over 100 something deer there at one point in time for black tongue. They never did went public with it. They those deer. I can tell you right now, I know three people that has perished there. Because of just the energy that comes off that mountain and what it feeds and what it attracts. I try to stay best I can. I don't even like being in the mountains of Polk County because all the stories and tragedies that's happened down there.
Polk County's rough.
Oh, Lord, son, if you only knew. Take you a night and sit down at the web store, you'll hear all sorts of noises come right there just in that parking lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just talking about gives me chills. I don't even like being down there at night. I really don't. I've been experienced down in the Polk County side. I've never had a good experience. Anything from, stop signs shaking on their own to children laughing to demonic sounds.
What about that? Is that in Benton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been through there a few times.
Daylight, it's fine. Nighttime, sitting around, no.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find a good place to go.
I know, Stephen's going to have to take us somewhere because I got the itch.
All I got to do is just sit you down there at the web store. That's all I got to do. Son, you'll sound like people walking down the side. There's still the old truss there, the old railroad truss. And it'll sound like somebody's walking down that railroad truss just beating and banging on it. And then if that's not happening, you will hear children laughing from the old Higdon Hotel over that area. And then it'll turn into like a demonic scream.
Overtly says, do you hear your name called?
I haven't, fortunately.
That's crazy.
Steve.
Oh, no, don't start that.
The light went off.
He's like, what? No way. I'm done.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah. That's insane. Oh.
Yeah, Polk County definitely haunted and crazy more than the upper side where we're at. I've had a lot more crazy paranormal encounters and stuff in Polk County alone in my youth years than I have with the mountains of where I grew up at.
Did you get to watch the show that we did over at Coochie Booger when we did that live?
Yeah, I was watching it.
Did you get to hear the rocks thrown at us?
Yes, I heard that. Trust
And
me.
you know that where you saw the footprint and all that stuff, that's where it was coming from.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't sit there alone.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done.
I don't blame him.
I was like, no, we'll switch places. We can't leave yet.
Getting hit by a rock.
They weren't going to hit you. They were just getting close.
Well, they got a dang good aim because it went.
They just scaring you off.
That's it. That's all they was trying to do. They found out that they couldn't, though.
Did y'all? I don't remember. Did y'all do the what they call the dials with the rods, dialing rods?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all do
Yep.
that?
We doused, yeah.
Okay, I thought y'all did.
Yep.
We got that the other day at work and how that works and operates and everything else. I'm like, boy, let me tell you, I've got two guys that are experts at that.
Yeah, we love the dowsing rods.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I do too. I guess that's my
I
first.
actually think that's what we were doing when that rock got thrown at me.
Yep,
We,
we were.
we,
I had the rods and you had the camera.
well, back in a guy that I work with that works on the, well, it's a company within ours that does some like inventory stuff. He used to work for well, without giving his name, he used to work for Smoky Mountain National Park. He used to be a ranger and stuff with them. When in his early days, they used to use dowsing rods to go find graves. He was sitting there telling me the other day that they used dowsing rods for nearly over half a dozen of graves that wasn't marked.
Hmm.
Really?
I said, funny enough, I know two guys that just got pretty good at that and how it opens up and closes.
Yeah.
Because he was telling me how if it closes, it's a male, and if it stays open, it's a female.
Hmm.
And I said, well, I don't know about all that.
I
We
think
could
you'd have
definitely
to
get
ask
yes or
it.
no. Yeah, we could
I
definitely
think,
give it yes or no questions and stuff.
yeah.
But he
I
did
mean,
say when they were doing those investigations and kind of looking over, he said especially he was there for the big great fire they had. After that, they got out and kind of did some searching and looking, and they had dowsing rods with them. Even then and before that, they have discovered, I think he said, like 12 graves that wasn't actually marked or accounted for with the dowsing rods.
Wow.
And he said they could determine if it's male or female just by how it closes and opens.
So they set the intentions at the beginning of it, open as female, closed as male, and then they start searching.
That's it. And
Yeah.
they were able to, well, he said the more modern ones they found, they were able to confirm they were grazed by modern day, at the time, LiDAR.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
mm-hmm,
And LiDAR works.
mm-hmm. It's crazy how them old times work, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that Jason bought the dowsing rods, and I think it's funny because when some of the other equipment's just not working good, or the batteries keep getting drained out of it,
Mm-hmm.
you could turn to the dowsing rods, and they can't drain the batteries out of the dowsing rods.
I mean, they used to use hickory sticks and stuff like that for dowsing rods.
yeah.
How you
Yeah.
gonna?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I've always heard that, they'd find a certain, like a Y shape from like a certain tree.
Mhm.
And when they were like looking for water, and they would hold it in a certain way. And when they got close to water, that thing would start bending so hard that it would try to come out of their hands.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that the old witching for whales theory that works very well because my great uncle, he actually witched for his whale. I remember being there when he did it.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was the experience.
Now that's cool. I
Mm-hmm.
used to work with a guy that lived up near Sweetwater, and he said that they got their house put in. They had a company come in and say, "Yeah, we could dig you a well, but it's going to be really deep right in here, and it's going to be like 200 feet or something, and it's probably going to be sulfury and all that stuff."
Mm-hmm.
Then he said they got this guy to come in and witch it.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy found it, and he drove a stake in the ground. He goes, right here, no more than 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the company to come back out and said, right there where that stake is, no more than 50 feet. And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
And when they went down, it was an artesian.
Mm-hmm.
It had so much pressure behind it that it blew just. And he said that they never even had to have a pump because there was so much pressure on that they didn't even need a pump to pump it to the house.
Mm-hmm. I know the property I looked at before where I'm at now. I wanted to do that, but some other people was telling me no. But I did come to find out the owners of it now went and did the same thing, and similar to what you was talking about, they went out witching for it, and the company come out and did it and told them, "Oh no, you're not going to find it," and they did
Mm-hmm.
because they told me, "Oh, if you want this property, it's going to be like $10,000 for like 10 or 20 feet or something." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not paying that," So, but I wish now that I'd listened to those ways and use the witching rods or dowsing rods.
Yep. Yeah, they work.
Oh yeah,
They work well.
they do.
What do you think about the fact that some things that we talked about earlier, where Bigfoot seems to just kind of step behind a tree and then they just never come out, they're gone,
Well, I mean,
or other people talk about seeing like the predator, shimmering and things like that.
well,
What
I
do you
mean,
think?
to me, it has to do about the energy, the vibration they're giving off. And, I take that with what Ron Moorhead talked about in his book called The Quantum Bigfoot. I've actually got to finish it not here too long ago. And, you know, it's like we was talking about earlier. If we was able to vibrate hard enough and fast enough, just like the Flash, we wouldn't be able to be seen. We would be transparent when we could hide from anything and everything, no matter what type of device human nature may have nowadays. We would be able to hide from it. I think these creatures have as thousands of years they've been around, for plus more actually than that. They've actually been able to harness what is around them, the world around them, and everything, and take that into effect so they can hide. I mean, they're not called the masters of the woods for no reason. So they
Right.
harness this power and this energy to their benefit. Because if you think about it, to me, I go back to Port Chapman. You think about
Mhm.
Port Chapman, how everybody lost their life and everything else there. But if you really dig into it, how the Spaniards come there and they discovered these creatures. Lord knows, all these white folk and native, and not natives, but other folk like of that nature. They discovered them. They found them, and they were being very unruly and cruel and very other things. So why not hide? Why not harness this energy and hide and go away from this cruel nature? I mean, if the world was come to it now and I was able to harness this energy, I would go off in the woods and hide. That's where I'd
Mhm.
be. And I'd want
Right.
to hide from whatever negative and bad's coming after me.
Well,
That's what I think.
when there's a native tribe, and I don't remember which one, but they have a story of when the white settlers first started coming over, and at that time they said that they traded with Bigfoot,
Mm-hmm.
and Bigfoot said, if you start trading with these people, I will move off into the woods, and we will no longer trade or be part of
Right.
trading or anything with you. And so that's exactly what happened.
Right. Well, it's like the stories I've heard about growing up with supposed Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever we call him, with the Cherokee. They talked about having campfires with them and
Mhm,
stories and trading, and
mhm,
how Bigfoot was able to be the guardian to watch over them while they did their hunting, if
mhm.
not helping them at the times. You
Yep.
know, and I always refer to the Cherokee because that's just the the
That's
the
who's
group
around here.
I grew up in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the natives in this area. That's who they are, Cherokee. So,
That's it.
so that would definitely be their lore that we've all grown up around here and heard.
Right.
And, and yeah, what's funny about, Tsukalu is that
Mm-hmm.
he was revered, feared, because if you got on his bad side, then bad things could happen.
Right.
So there was definitely something that you didn't want to do.
Well, it's like that one story about the Kasu Kalu. I know
Mhm.
I'm butchering that, but
That was pretty good.
there's one story that I remember reading and hearing about that he was the guy that was the outskirts of the village, and he come and took one of the white women of the village and took her as a wife, and they feared him because of it, because he was taking the children and everything else. And I think that was lost over generations in translation and stuff like that. But if you talk to an actual true native people, that's not how it went. That's not how it was.
Right.
The story actually is that he came and he helped the family of that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
later on, he didn't feel like that the mother or one of them
the
Mother.
didn't
Yep.
like him or something like that. And he
Mhm.
would
Well,
bring
wouldn't
them,
accept him, I think, is what
yeah, but he
really
would
what
bring
it
them wood and everything that they
Yep.
needed.
beer. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, been lost over generations translation.
That story is actually in our book.
Yeah. Another thing too, though, is that a mistranslation a little bit is how they call him the slant-eyed giant.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't actually mean that his eyes were slanted.
Mm-hmm.
It actually meant his pupils.
Yep. I'm not to touch on that because, if you watch any modern day TV on History Channel or anything else like that, they make him seem to be a giant humanoid, like an actual human. But that's really is if y'all know the history like I do, which I'm sure y'all do, it wasn't. He was really a human.
Mm-hmm.
He was more like a Bigfoot creature, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, even most natives say that they were of another tribe.
exactly.
How they usually explained them away.
Yeah. I mean, they even talk about them. They were there before the natives actually was there. And they were like, the natives came in and tried to claim their land at some point. I think it was in like middle of the country. I don't know where it was, but they were moved.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah, it's strange. I think they were here before the natives.
Lord, yeah, I think they was here at the same time.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
do.
they actually coexisted, I know, because they warred against each other.
Yeah. They did.
Different
did.
tribes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara. Yeah, I think when it comes to a lot of the stuff, when it comes to Bigfoot and stuff, we tend to do a couple of things. We draw upon who we are and how we are, and we anthropomorphize these things into us, right? Because it's easier to describe if they're like us. And it's easier to describe behavior and things like that if we just say, hey, these things are just bigger, hairier versions of us that live in the woods, right? They're wild.
What like with Dog Man, any other cryptid story from the native, it's like we was talking about earlier with lost in translation, maybe even like Dog Man or any other paranormal thing was there for good intentions, but with with what I used to be told by an old native guy, we told a lot of our stories to scare kids from the woods at night. But when in fact those stories were there to make sure you protect those that were there before you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right. Right. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yep. If you treat the old world and this modern world today with respect, the old world will be able to overcome the new world. And that's something I'm quoting my papa on that.
Right.
So he may be an old Baptist pastor, but he's been around the world a time or two.
Mark.
Hey, Mark.
He's asking if we've investigated any of the old homes in Madisonville. The house I grew up in is 130. Wow.
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 We did investigate one out on Ball Play. It was the old
right.
Jump. What was the name of it? Jump something. Post office
Post office.
in school. Yeah,
Yep.
it was pretty old.
Lord
Yeah.
Ball Play in itself with Belltown and everything else and everything that happened there, it's old as dirt and everything that happened there.
That's crazy.
Belltown. What happened there? That seems familiar.
Belltown, if you go down Ball Play, the main Ball Play drag, as I call it, we've always called it. If you take it, there's a sign on the left-hand side of that main road goes up by the creek or river, whatever you want to call it. There's a little sign left called this was the Belltown area when they were started removing the Cherokee off the mountain. This is where they housed them on a place called Belltown. Eventually moved them on the Trail of Tears and moved them from the area completely.
I've been trying to find the area around that place where that massacre occurred. I know there was I don't know if the French got massacred or it was the Indians. I can't.
Well, that has to be anywhere from Ball Play to Fort Loudon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought when they took Fort Loudon over, and the settlers were leaving, and all the people were leaving, that's when the massacre happened.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere on their trail back.
Yeah, I don't think it was at the fort. It was.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't at the fort.
I've seen it on the internet. The sign, they have a sign somewhere, but I've been trying to find exactly where it's at.
Well, I can take you to show you exactly where that sign talks about Belltown. It's not far. I can't remember the name of that church. Because the way I describe it, it's the main, like I said, the main drag through Ball Play that takes you off into an area called 3 Point off in there.
Now, have you heard a story? I heard one a long time ago. It was on Ball Play Road. There was a bridge on that road somewhere that the lady had lost her baby on that bridge. I can't remember the exact story, but people would see, an apparition of her looking for her baby.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I have, but I have to dig down and kind of think about it. But I mean, there's lots of stories like that in our area. Lots of stories of ladies in white and bridges and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was before you get to Reagan Valley Road, I know, on Ball Play.
Reagan Valley. I'm trying to get my bearings about me.
My road.
Yep.
Yeah, Reagan Valley goes across 68, then cuts over to Ball Play Road, I believe.
Yeah, it does. We was looking at a house at one point over up and through there.
I don't know if there's a major bridge there or not. I think Eddie lives off there in Ball Play. I can't think of a bridge off the top of my head exactly where it would be at.
Yeah, I heard the story many years ago, and I just can't remember exactly where it was at out there, but it was on Ball Play Road.
It has to be out there before you get to the church I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think it crosses right there somewhere, actually. I don't know if it's a bridge anymore, but I know there is a point before you get to that sign I was talking about. There is a point where there's a major creek that overflows to beside that area, and it's just a road. There's not a bridge there now. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
There was a tower with 6 bells. Only one remains, supposedly for renovation. Last century, the bell still rings.
I'll go to the post office and get the scoop. That'd be awesome. Definitely do it.
Lord, there goes my light again.
Uh-oh, lights out.
So back to the we still got I don't know, how long can you stay on, Stephen?
I got some time.
Well, if portals existed, either stable portals or temporary, they'd probably require a lot of energy. They might be around geomagnetic anomalies. They can distort electronics. They might even produce light phenomena like a orb. Ding dong, ding dong. And I think that it could cause animal agitation.
Very.
like dogs, barking and stuff going quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So Bigfoot hotspots, they were when Bigfoot is seen or whatever investigated, there's exactly those features that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, in and out of portals, I just believe it's real.
Oh Lord.
You know, you get it a lot on David Politis talks about it in Missing 411.
Mm-hmm.
The metal door sounds out in the woods when you're not near anything.
Mm-hmm. There,
The movie premiere that we just went to, Greg Ogle's newest movie, The Vanished,
mm-hmm.
they were out here in the Smoky somewhere. Actually, not too far from where any of us live, filming, doing some nighttime stuff, and they caught 3 times. And every time they sound that you heard the metal, it got closer.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time it was a little bit further away. The next time it was a little closer, and the next time it was pretty dang close. And you could hear it in the audio of that movie when they were sitting there filming and stuff. It's creepy because, I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, that's just crazy. You're hearing something somewhere else.
Right.
But I mean, they showed, if anything, that they were way out somewhere. They weren't close to anything. Then all of a sudden, 3 times you get this metal sound. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, it's very interesting because I'll even touch this little chat that came across with Barbara Edwards talking about courts and areas.
Mm-hmm.
I never really tied a whole lot of the courts idea till I started watching a lot of the Hellbent Holler.
Yep.
If you look at a lot of these areas where people are hearing these metallic sounds coming from the woods, or even what I've been told and reported of a sulfur smell.
Yes.
There's usually at times, if you look at these areas really close, there's these large, if not large, somewhat of a quartz outcrop laying around somewhere. And I can tell you that for sure because, an area that we normally turkey hunt during spring, there's a lot of quartz around there. And I can't wait to get out this spring. I'm going to buy me a GoPro and everything. I can't wait to get out and turkey hunt this spring. But I'm going to make sure we got a GoPro because every time we're out turkey hunting during spring in this one area, and it's an area that we all know well by another investigator. I don't know if I mentioned if it will be black flagged or whatever, but there's an investigator, a highly ranked investigator from our area that's been to this area. Things have happened, and there's quartz out there. Like there's quite a bit. And I know with me, there's always been sounds and stuff, not necessarily a metallic sound, but there is lots of quartz out there. There's always sounds and everything else. So a lot of that plays into account when you're looking into these things. If you make it a hot,
yeah. That's interesting.
mm-hmm. And just like Barbara Edwards just said there in the chat, quartz is a true conductive of energy, and she's right. That's exactly what quartz is.
You can
put quartz under pressure and it'll give off energy and light.
You can actually take your fingers and squeeze on it, and you can see the energy.
Same thing with rubbing 2 pieces of quartz together. It'll do the same thing.
Just kind of like Himalayan rocks, they'll do the same thing.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people nowadays put them in their homes for healing and everything else.
Hey, Woo Rider's dog or DG, how you doing?
Northeast Florida.
From Northeast Florida. Awesome.
I got the skunk.
Piezoelectric. Yes, thank you. Overly overstocked Oscars. See? Look at that. We got smart people in our audience.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question for that answer?
Piezoelectric is what it's called when you have those quartz that make that electricity like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that just ties back to what we
I heard
started there, being in one with nature and the stuff around it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure there's probably stories of old timers that I probably can't think of right off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's probably stories of old timers using those old quartz rocks and stuff for healing and everything else in between.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee
Yeah.
they probably just called them old rocks, but I guarantee it was actually quartz rocks.
Right. Yeah. I would say absolutely probably to that because, you know, our ancestors and stuff knew the value of a lot of those minerals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those reasons that you know, the Mayans and the Aztecs and stuff like that got gold and copper and the things that they got, and they made stuff out of it,
Mm-hmm.
but because they was building computers. You know? I mean, they knew the intrinsic value of it, and it wasn't because it was some spectacular mineral. It was because it actually has value to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is gold and copper. I mean, neither one. They both conduct electricity very well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but neither one are magnetic.
Right.
Hmm.
Like that old story. Eddie, I know Eddie's told me, I don't know about y'all, but the old, the old Cherokee gold that they stole from the Spaniards.
Oh yes,
That and just anything in between with anything to do with rocks, like you touched on, they may have seen it as like a fortune, but they knew what that fortune was because they could take it like snake oil. When the old Western times, snake oil will bring you this, that, and the other. Why not do the same thing in the East Coast with rocks?
Mm-hmm.
Way I see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess we better tie it up here. We've talked about portals to quartz, rocks, vanishing orbs. I think here's my theory. I'm a dimensional portal guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the paranormal. When I say paranormal, I'm talking about hauntings, spirits. Then I think the UFO and the Bigfoot, Dogman, the cryptid section. It's all together.
Mm-hmm.
David, I think it's the same way. I think they all come through these dimensions. When we die, who knows? We might be traveling to another dimension, not only of sight but of sound.
That's very true.
Well, to expound on that just a little bit, I think that when you said that you believe that it's all one and the same, and I really do. I believe that, especially when it comes to when you take in the hauntings in this, right? Because the other side of it, it's really easy to see, right? You've got portals and beings that can disappear and almost cloak in front of you and all these other things. But with the paranormal side of it, and I've said it for years, and Jason, you've probably heard me say it a million times in any of our conversations. I believe that not all, but most of these intelligent ones, especially when it comes to what people put down as demonic, right? These things that will possess you, these things that come in and feed off of you, these things that do these type of things. I truly believe that they are a higher dimensional being. But I don't place anything on them except for that they are no more than a tick on a dog. That all they do is that, right? And so with that being said, though, I do think that they all have things that do tie in with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just like I was talking about with some of the religious stuff with the Ethiopian Bible, even talked about the dead went to a holding place, I guess,
I mean, the Old Testament said the same thing. That's where Jesus called Lazarus from.
From the grave in 3 days.
But these books go into a whole lot more detail than that one, and it talks about they're staying in this waiting area. I don't know. I don't think it's purgatory.
Overtly Overstoke said it perfectly. Purgatory.
I don't think it's purgatory. I think it's just somewhere that
Well, that's how the Catholic
people go.
Church says.
I think it's somewhere where the dead go to wait for the judgment.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like my papa always taught and preached. When you pass, you need to try. You need to try, and I say try. You need to try to be in. And I know it don't happen always that way, but you need to try to be in the dirt and be buried before sundown in 3 days. That way, on the third day, when you're called upon from heaven, as I would say, as he preached it, you're called upon from there to be casted in front of God for judgment. And that's just what I grew up with, and that just goes along with y'all were saying. Maybe it's a purgatory. We don't know what really happens after death until we experience.
Until you die.
Maybe purgatory is this holding place, which is in another dimension.
You're exactly right. We don't know until we get to experience it.
We're going to find out.
That's it.
Everybody
we are going to find out.
It's inevitable.
That's it.
Yep. No matter how much we'd like to live forever.
I've just had the urge to explore this.
Thanks, Mark.
Death thing. I don't know why, but it just fascinates me with where do these spirits come from that we talk to. A lot of them can come from another dimension. They could be something totally different that act like our loved ones.
Could be.
Because like David said, they feed off that. That's how they survive. Yep. They live. They get their energy from that.
Right. That's right. I think there's a piece of them that's left behind or that's still here that's able to interact in some way. Right. Even against all the teachings I've been taught growing up, but I think still something here holding them some way and somehow.
Well, overtly is talking about the Egyptians and stuff like that. And what's really interesting is that they believe that you had two souls, not just one, two. One after death stayed here on this plane of existence, and the other left. And so the one that stayed on this plane of existence is the one that we interact with, and so, and it's funny because there is, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of the tribe, but there is a Native American tribe in the Americas that believes the exact same thing. That there's two souls.
That's the first I've ever heard that.
Yeah. Some people try to tie that second soul to
and who would be better to know than a civilization that's been here for how many years? Millennials.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Definitely.
But that's the fun thing about having these kinds of conversations is the fact that is you get to touch on all these different subjects, and when you get this banter back and forth and you get to talk about these kinds of things, sometimes just things spark or something, like when we were talking earlier and I was like, hey, the fact that we don't catch Bigfoot, but do we ever catch strange lights? Could these things be, and is just from this kind of talk. And I think that when people get together and they have these kinds of conversations and they're willing to talk outside the box and not think of all this other stuff that everybody else is talking about, that's when we're going to start getting closer to the truth, I think.
It's like my papa I know when I asked him this question, when I say my papa, that's the pastor, I always said to him, you taught us with the Bible and everything, King James Version and everything. I said, do you not realize some of the things that happened and Jesus was doing in his time was a lot of ghostly paranormal stuff?
Mhm.
Do we not? I mean, can you not believe that it's a paranormal event that's happening, for lack of better terms? It's a
Mhm.
paranormal event happening then as it is now.
Right.
And son, that man will look at me like he can walk right through me.
I could even corroborate with the third day when he rose. He could have didn't he his spirit or something stay for 40 days,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
and then he kind of went away. Maybe he went back in a portal to his dimension.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, but it's funny you talk about how people say that you're not that the dead know nothing and all these different things. But and look, I'm not a Bible scholar
Mhm.
by any means. But in Samuel, King Saul went to the witch of Endor
Mhm.
to talk to the prophet Samuel
Mhm.
and got guidance on some stuff that he needed to get guidance from. And so if the living cannot talk to the dead, then what's that story about? And then I will drop the mic right there.
Drop it.
That's all I got to say.
You got to make sure I know that verse, because I need that verse. I have a certain somebody
First Samuel 28.
that's really religious, and he said, "Oh, the dead don't know nothing. They're just dead."
You know what I say? The ignorant don't either.
He said, even the Bible says the dead know nothing, which he did quote me a verse that says the dead know nothing.
Yeah. Well, the Bible also contradicts itself. You know, the right hand
Constantly.
doesn't know what the left hand does.
Constantly, it contradicts itself.
Amen.
So, I mean, if you're going to be fair, you got to be fair all the way around.
Right.
And so, but yeah, that's First Samuel. So,
Mhm.
All right. So, guess it's about time to go. We've been on over an hour 30, almost 2 hours.
woo-woo. This
Been
is the
fun.
longest Thursday ever. Thank you, Steve, for coming on, man. This
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, man.
Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find your stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
if looking to
Tell them your IMDb, because you're famous.
I know,
Oh,
right?
ain't-
He's big time.
no.
We're rubbing elbows with the big boys.
Hold on, wait. Here we go.
Look, guys,
Rub it.
y'all, I may have been on the big podcast and stuff, but I think, to me personally, I gotta thank y'all because I cut my teeth with you all. I've been with you all now for quite a while, and I appreciate y'all and everything else. So I claim you guys. 'Cause-
Awesome. We
so,
claim you too.
but hey, if you're looking for some stories or weird videos and stuff like that, hit us up on Arcane Discoveries. You can find us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and now we have a Facebook group that's growing, and I'd like to see it keep on growing. So just go join, and you want to hit us up for any type of story, maybe local or outside, shoot me an email at arcanediscoveries423@gmail.com. And I would love to hear your stories. And I'm trying to get a guy that I know has a really good narrator voice. And I'd eventually like to get him on board and start reading some stories off and make videos out of it. I just now discovered that new TikTok cap cut crap. So it's making videos better. I've got a video sitting waiting I want to release, but I haven't seen no more about it yet. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's where you can find us. Anything Arcane Discoveries 423, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Awesome. Everybody needs to go check that out because he does have some awesome stories.
Awesome.
Oh, look at that. paranormal. Light goes out
Is
again.
that thing on a timer?
I guess so. No, Toyota's got a timer.
Huh.
It's the Yoda timer.
It ain't gonna let the
Yeah.
battery run dead.
That's it.
Oh.
Well, unless you keep turning it back on.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
That's all right.
How many times have you parked your car and went in? Somebody says, "Man, your lights are on. Your lights are on.
Not me.
Go turn them off."
Go off.
Yeah.
That's
I've
funny.
done, yeah. Well,
I have to take my battery loose every night before I go home.
but you know what it is now, right?
I found out what's causing my battery to drain. So it's $100 part. So I'm gonna fix it, and then I won't have that problem no more.
Now mine's beeping at me. Good grief.
You might have to start your truck.
So remember this Saturday we're not going to have a show because it's Valentine's Day and
It's Jason's
things to
and a
do.
voice to be.
But David, he might want to do something.
I don't know. We'll see.
You got to take your lady out. But anyway,
The
21st, we have Kevin on, and he's going to be talking with us about Bigfoot. Kevin Lestarge, I think is how you pronounce it.
Is that on the 21st?
Yep, 21st, 8 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be on the show, and then on the 28th.
Oh, he's going to be on at 9, is he not? Didn't he have to come in late?
Yeah, 9 p.m. We're going to start at 9 p.m. on the 21st. Yeah.
And on the 28th, we've got the Blondes and Booze, right?
Yes. We got Natalie, Krista, who else? There's 4 of them. 4 blondes and 4 booze. Booze. 4. No, it'd be 2, 4.
That'd be 8 booze.
Yeah.
Then on the 7th, we've got Dr. Christopher Macklin coming on.
Ooh, yeah, he's going to talk about Greenland.
Don't we have somebody's that podcast we're supposed to be on their podcast? That guy out of Texas?
Yes. Did we get a date? I think we did. I just can't remember it. Hope it wasn't tonight. I'll have to look at it.
Channel. Can you post that in your channel, Stephen, in the chat for them?
What's that?
Or one of us. Let's see. Arcane Discoveries.
If I hit join chat, it may kick me out. I don't know.
It's Arcane Discoveries. And then you're on
Facebook, Twitter, TikTok,
no,
YouTube.
Twitter or X, what are you going to call it?
Let's see.
That platform.
And what else? Twitter?
No.
Facebook, YouTube,
Instagram, and
Instagram.
TikTok.
Let's see what happens if I do with chat.
I got you.
Okay.
That's what I was doing.
Let's see if I can just find the link for his Facebook.
I was doing that the other day when I was doing the show with them, and when I was looking for something online, I would freeze up and they're like, "Oh, you're frozen," and I was like, "No, it's because I got off of this page and I'm doing something else." It's weird that StreamYard, if you go off to look for something else, it freezes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's crazy. You can still hear it.
That's like the other day I tried going live on Instagram. I guess you gotta have like at least 1,000 followers before you go live on there. Because I hadn't done a live, and I want to do a live, and I want to do it on there, but undoubtedly can't.
She said she found an Arcane Discoveries, but it didn't look like you.
Let's see.
Here, I got the link to his Facebook. I'm posted in now.
There you go.
I'm just if I go out, it'll take me completely out.
Yeah, it's easier for us to do it here. There you go. Yeah, everybody check him out. He has all kinds of good stuff that he has on. So for some reason I haven't been getting Have you been doing any lives?
No, I haven't. I haven't lately.
No. Like, I haven't been getting any notifications.
Yeah, I've thought about setting a day for lives, but I haven't really found a good platform to do it on. Like I said, Instagram, you got to have at least 1,000 followers. That darn TikTok, people pass through, don't stay a whole lot of time, so I don't do much of it. And, you know, I don't know about Facebook. I ain't tried it yet. YouTube, maybe, but I don't have a whole lot of followers on there yet. Or I should say,
Well,
We need to get you some followers on Facebook, on YouTube then.
hey, keep me humble.
Yeah. That's what we need to do.
all right, guys. So we'll see you next Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. No Saturday show.
No Saturday show.
We're going to leave that to the honeys.
Just go back and watch some of the old past shows. And
We got plenty.
I'm not saying you need to watch them, but if you have a fix for Paranormal 411, you can go and watch some past shows.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
We even have some shows with Steven on it that you need to go back and watch. So
yep, we do. We have a few shows with Steven on it. We do.
You know, that comment on that, there's been a lot more people recognize me from y'all's show than the other ones.
Really?
When people, I've had some people that come up there to work and it's like, hey, I seen you on a podcast record. I'm like, oh, yeah, really? Where's it from? Oh, Paranormal 401. You know them? I'm like, oh, yeah, I know them. So,
that's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's great. Overtly says she's going to watch the one we did on Crowley later. That was a fun podcast we did about Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Very fun.
All right, Steven, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, anytime, brothers.
And we need to get to go somewhere in the woods.
Yes, we have cameras. Cameras.
Hunting season's over with, so I'm eager to get back in the woods, even if it's just looking for deer sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could say that's what we're doing with you.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, that's the key word.
Yeah.
We're gonna be out with Stephen Watson, Arcane Discoveries.
Hey, you know, that reminds me. What's his name? Scott Underwood's boy.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get out and he's been doing a fast from social media. We haven't made a plan, but he wants to get out and do a hike with us. So I'd like to bring you all upon that.
We would love that. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I get to use my Bigfoot walker, the cane thing that I got up there at the festival one year.
I want to take my paddle out that y'all gave me.
Yes.
Yes.
Do some.
Yep, that's it.
Next time I see you, we'll get you a new hat.
Yeah, this old Bass Pro has its days.
You want a beanie or a hat?
I'm a hat guy.
Okay. Got some good hats.
Yeah, they're really
all the way from China.
Maybe from Indonesia, but we ain't saying nothing.
Right.
We work cheap. No.
They're from China, but it's a United States supplier.
Right.
So, I mean, they did a good job. I like them. All right. I'm going to take us out. You got anything, David?
No. I mean, just my going out spiel. That's it. Everybody have a good night. Good weekend.
Yep.
And remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. You can tune in live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. Now, we do have a few books out. East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2, a comprehensive guide to paranormal investigations, and the Haunted Ledger. Now, these are all available on Amazon or at paranormal411.org. Join us. Join us.
See y'all
later. Have
a
good night.
Night, y'all.
Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows? What secrets the night hides? What strange phenomena might be happening just beyond your perception? Join us as we journey into the world of the paranormal, exploring everything from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and unexplained occurrences. From haunted houses to all things paranormal, join us in the search for the truth behind the veil. Welcome to Paranormal 411.